Hey there, beer tubers. Welcome back to another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. I'm Average Joe, and today marks the beginning of a brand new segment within the beer reviews here on my channel, and that segment will be known as Western New York Wednesday. So, to make a long story short, which I'm usually very incapable of, right, Paul? I can't do it. This guy likes to talk about nothing. I want to support my local breweries like so many other beer tubers out there. And I thought it would be a good idea to make like a weekly segment. So whenever I upload a review on a Wednesday from this point forward, it is going to be known as a Western New York Wednesday beer review. And basically what I'm doing is reviewing a beer from the Western New York area. If you're unfamiliar with the Western New York area, it basically encompasses Buffalo, New York, Rochester, New York, and the surrounding areas. But a lot of good breweries popping up lately over the past couple years. And it seems like every week there's a new beer release, so I figured what better way to get the word out than to review a local beer. Usually once a week I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do this every single Wednesday, but it might be bi-weekly, it might be 3 times a month. We'll see what happens. But if you see a beer review on a Wednesday, you'll know that it's a Western New York Wednesday. So without any further ado, let's get into the first ever Western New York Wednesday beer review. The beer I'll be reviewing today comes from Community Beer Works out of Buffalo, New York, and this is their Banana Split Milkshake. So, it sounds awesome. Banana Split Milkshake. It just sounds like something that I want to try. This beer was actually released by them a few times last year in small batches, and they sold out really quickly. And I never got a chance to try it. So this past Saturday, which was National Beer Day, they released this beer again, and I had to go pick up a few cans of it. If you're wondering why this can looks so huge, it's because it is. It is actually a 750 milliliter can, so 25.4 fluid ounces. Basically a wine bottle, the 750 wine bottles, but in can form. I believe they use a crowler machine, because I've seen 25-ounce crowlers or 25.4-ounce crowlers. There's usually, 32-ounce crowlers is usually the standard. I think it's Oscar Blues does the 19.2 fluid ounce stovepipe cans, but this is like the biggest can that I've seen outside of a 32-ounce crowler. Pretty unique. So this beer has a lot going on. It says what it is right on here, but let me just tell you a little bit more about it from what they released on their Facebook page. So they took a traditional German Hefeweizen and they brewed it with 50% pilsner malt, 50% wheat, and they actually used the Bavarian Hefe yeast strain that they said they stressed, which basically they brewed it at a higher temperature to promote and enhance more of the banana and clove yeast esters. After that, they conditioned it on 40 pounds of strawberries, organic vanilla beans, and then they added lactose and chocolate. So you're going for that whole banana split vibe, and they're hoping the banana part comes from basically the yeast strain. So sounds pretty tasty. I'm very excited to give this a go. It's been out of the fridge for about a half an hour, so I let it warm up a decent amount just because I feel like drinking this cold would be doing a disservice, and also I don't want to piss off Paul any more than I already did. So let's get into this one. Give it a pour. I'm using the Community Beer Works Taku because #proper glassware, but fuck that hashtag. So this is probably going to be a terrible pour, one would imagine. If this is like, was done with a crowler machine, crowler cans usually are a pain in the ass, and it's always tough to get them open. So let me get it open. Oh my god. Yeah, I knew beer would go everywhere. So let's give this a pour. If beer spills everywhere, so be it. All right, I'm not doing. Yeah, no, there it goes. See, yeah, baby. I'll do a terrible pour. Beer everywhere. We love it. Doesn't really matter. Not really. You know why? Because it can be cleaned. It really can. So, give you guys a close up of the beer here. It actually looks like a classic German Hefe. I mean, it has the cloudiness that you would want from it. It's like a straw golden, basically a straw golden color that's unfiltered. It has beer dripping off of the glass because why wouldn't it? It has a very creamy, compact head. The bubbles just, oh my lord. The head on this looks amazing. No, really it does. This just looks like a German Hefeweizen in the proper form. That's what this beer looks like. And I wouldn't expect anything less from Community Beer Works. They usually do a great job with whatever they're brewing. They're probably one of the most consistent breweries here in the New York area, Western New York area. But in New York State, I would say they're up there. Anyway, yeah, it looks like a German Hefeweizen, so let's get a nose on it and see what we got going on. Yeah, that banana. Wow, what the? Hang on. Yeah, there's a lot going on in here. First and foremost, that banana and clove yeast ester, very vibrant, very bright, in your face. You can't, it's very unmistakable. But then I got hit with chocolate and like a chocolate syrup that you would get out of Banana Split. They said they added chocolate. They didn't mention cocoa nibs. They didn't mention if it was like, you know, actual artificial or natural flavoring. It just said added chocolate. So it could be anything, but it honestly reminds me of like the chocolate syrup you would get in a traditional Banana Split. And it's weird that that's like one of the first characters after the yeast esters that I'm getting, because it's one of the last things that they mention, which means not as much as the other ingredients. Yeah, it's vaguely reminiscent of a Banana Split. There's a little bit of strawberry, a bit of vanilla. The banana is the key player here, just like a Banana Split would be. You know, you got actual bananas in there. The clove isn't too overbearing, which I thought was going to be an issue. But on the nose, it's actually very subtle and subdued, which is nice. Yeah, it smells very desserty, but it doesn't smell overly sweet, which I thought would be a concern. So anyway, I want to get into it. Cheers, everybody. Cheers to Community Beer Works, and let's get into this one. Cheers. That mouthfeel is proper. Wow, it's a great that body and the mouthfeel is where it's at right on the first sip. Yeah, that's really tasty. So right up front, like I said, the mouthfeel, it's creamy, it's soft. Even has like a slight slickness to it. This beer is only 4.8%, and it is 10 IBUs. And I'd say the body is more like medium, upper side of medium, not quite medium full, but it has a nice heifer there for being a sub 5% beer. Carbonation is proper. It has just the traditional German Hefeweizen kind of body and mouthfeel to it. Flavor-wise, though, this is where it gets kind of weird. It's good. It is reminiscent of a Banana Split. Right up front, hit with a huge blast of the banana yeast ester. Just like I said, you can't... It's one of those beers you really cannot mistake for anything right now. It's a beer that hits you right away with banana, and you're like, yes, this is probably a wheat beer if you were to do this blind. But then the strawberries come in, the vanilla, the chocolate, they all play a role. It's somewhat cohesive, but you get individual flavors at the same time, which is cool. It's not overly sweet. It finishes semi-dry, and it just has, I don't know, there's just something about this, though, that is kind of weird for me. There's this, like, slight funkiness to the overall characteristic of the beer. I don't know if that's coming from the yeast, coming from one of the ingredients, but it kind of disjoints the beer ever so slightly. Like, when you first take the sip, you're like, this is pretty damn good. I get what they're saying with the banana, split milkshake, everything. But then you drink this, and you're like, maybe not. But regardless, it's very tasty. It's pretty damn good, and it's quite unique. I've never had a banana split milkshake anything, so that's a positive. Yeah, this is really tasty. I'm actually surprised at how easy it drinks. Then again, it's under 5%, so maybe not that surprising. I will say I will want a little bit more of this. I would like, they say 40 pounds of strawberries, organic vanilla beans, the lactose, the chocolate. They could use maybe 60 pounds, maybe 80 pounds. I want a more intense characteristic from all those ingredients. I think they're a bit too subtle. Because they strained the yeast so much, I feel like the banana is a bit overpowering in comparison to the rest of the ingredients. At the same time, it's quite unique. It's enjoyable to try. And yeah, I'm glad I gave it a go. That said, rating-wise, I'd probably give it like a... I'm not going to be generous with it just because it's local, so I'm going to go 3.75 out of 5. I was hoping to be in the 4 range, maybe 4.25. I thought it would be a little bit better than it is. That said, it is cool to try, but maybe next time they tweak the recipe. I know a lot of people here in the Western New York area actually like this beer quite a bit, so it's surprising that I'm not enjoying it a little bit more, but hey, we all have different palates, and that's how it goes. So that is the Banana Split Milkshake Hefeweizen from Community Beer Works. And like I said, I'd give that 3.75 out of 5. And that does it for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Appreciate you guys stopping by. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, I'm on board. But if you do any of those 3 things, hit me with a comment or two. Have you ever had anything like this? If you're in the Western New York area, if it had anything from Community Beer Works, would you want to try banana split milkshake Hefeweizen? Does that sound like something you would enjoy? Because I'm enjoying it. I wish I was enjoying it a little bit more, but that's how it goes. So anyway, thanks for joining me for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Until next time, cheers.